be empathetic in whatever you do. And that means walking in the customer's shoes to understand what are their pain points, what are their needs, what are their expectations. If we don't understand customers on a deeper level, we'll never be able to improve their customer experiences. And that's not referred to only the employees, but especially to the leaders.
The Thomas Green podcast is owned and made possible by Ethical Marketing Service. If your business is struggling with Google or Facebook ads, maybe you're frustrated figuring it out or there's a performance issue, Ethical Marketing Service has worked on hundreds of accounts and we can help in this area. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, and for every direct account we look after, we sponsor a child in a developing nation with food, water and education. If you would like to find out if we can help, it's a free, no salesy consultation call, and the link is in the description. Enjoy the episode. Thomas Green here with Ethical Marketing Service. On the episode today, we have Ilenia Vidili. Ilenia, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Thomas.
It is my pleasure. Would you like to take a moment and tell the audience a bit about yourself and what you do?
Of course. So I am a customer-centricity advisor, trainer as well, and speaker and author. I take care of the customer, basically. I help companies understanding their customers better, understanding the importance of customers, and optimizing and improving their customer experiences.
Thank you for the introduction. We were going to go over your story a bit today, and in prep for our conversation, I got that you actually quit your corporate job, whatever, about 3 to 4 years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
And what was
5 years ago.
What was the situation around that, and why did you end up leaving?
So, well, basically, I worked in corporate marketing for many years before I decided to quit my job. And I realized that there was a massive gap between customers and employees and the company. So basically, in terms of values. And that's basically where the main clashes started for me internally, as my values and my company's values. Such as like the board, the directors and the company itself, they were completely different. Mainly companies want to maximize profit, and they do it in a way that is destructive for customers and employees. And so I wanted to work for myself because I wanted to work and live for my values. And that's basically why I left the corporate environment, because any company that I worked for, it was the same music, So I now work with corporations and also medium enterprises that want to change their business operations and become more ethical and help customers and all stakeholders really create value for all stakeholders.
So would you say it would be a fair summary to say that the reason why you were inspired to get into the business you're in now was because of the experience you had regarding when you were in employment? There was such a disconnect between, let's say, the best interest of the customer and the business that was selling them the product or the service.
Exactly. Yes.
Interesting. So something positive came out of something which was negative.
Yes. Yes.
So you start to have the thoughts that you want to leave. How long did it go from being a thought, maybe I should go, to actually handing in your notice?
So it took me about 6 months when I started thinking about it. And then when I had the courage to take the leap, it took about 6 months' time. Then I took a year gap. I traveled around Southeast Asia to really think about what I wanted to do and if I wanted to carry on in business or I wanted to do something else with my life. And I actually thought that, well, marketing was my passion, but it kind of vanished within with the years. And I thought I could actually work for changing what is the customer experience, what is the perception of marketing in businesses and for customers, and improving the customer experiences, and really helping business understand why customers are so important, why employees are so important, why their stakeholders and the community around them is so important, which is so undervalued in business. And that's why I started my own business right now, and I help companies improving all these aspects that really make our company much more important and grow.
Well, before we talk about the new venture, and I do definitely want to get into that. I always find it interesting because I think about when my experience as well, when I'm, let's say, I vividly remember sort of printing off the letter, the resignation letter, and the scenarios and how I felt around that time. So did you leave on good terms, and how did it feel when you actually handed in your notice?
Yes, we left in good terms. It was actually just before a promotion that I was getting for the company. And I declined it because I saw myself working for another 10 years or even more for that company, and having the same internal struggles, working for inertia, basically. And I wasn't happy as an employee. I wasn't happy as with myself, with what I was doing. And I wasn't really happy with the practices, the business practices that companies carried out, that have to carry out, because their main objective is to grow. And they do it in any way. So I had a meeting with my ex boss, and we decided, I decided, he handed me a promotion for another company. So basically I used to be responsible for the marketing and communication and the placement of a venture capitalist. So we had a very good number of startups under the umbrella of an hedge fund. And I was responsible for all the companies and make them grow. That was my objective. But it wasn't in an ethical way, in a way that customers would want to, because mostly what companies do is to maximize the outreach of marketing rather than trust of customers. And I think that earning trust of customer is the best marketing strategies these days. So when we decided that of my promotion, then I took a week to actually decide whether I wanted to pursue that promotion or not. And then I just said to my boss that in a meeting, I said to my boss that I wasn't ready and I wanted better for my life. So then I took a year gap and I traveled around Southeast Asia because I felt that my life was completely disappearing behind a desk and behind a computer without being happy. So I thought if I wanted to work 12, 14 hours, then I'll do it for myself. And I do to make something better for myself.
Any conflicting thoughts there? Because a lot of people don't get the offer of a promotion before they leave. And so it makes it somewhat easier. But if you're actually handed a promotion, is there any kind of maybe I shouldn't do this thoughts going on at that point?
Well, yes, but it was very conflicting, but in a way that I was really excited. And actually, when it happened that I said to my boss I wasn't going to pursue that promotion, then I had a massive sense of relief and pride and satisfaction for my decision. Initially, it was really difficult to take that decision, especially because I didn't know what it was going to happen in the months ahead. But I was actually in a better place with that uncertainty rather than going to work with tears in my eyes. So I just wasn't happy, For me, happiness within myself is better than having a promotion and earning much more than before. So it really depends what someone looks for, their objectives. What's
Thank
their
you for sharing
success?
that.
That's all right.
So a weight off your shoulders. And when do you determine that you're going to go traveling?
Oh, straight away, basically. I just needed a break from the business world, and I needed it straight away. So I basically, after a month, I was already in a plane and traveling. I decided to go straight away with one-way tickets.
One-way ticket. Interesting. So you get, am I right in saying that the travel gives you clarity about how you want to proceed next? How long did that take?
Yes. So I don't know, actually. I don't remember the time frame there. How long did it take me? Probably about 8 months to, first of all, I didn't want to think about what I want to do next. I was just enjoying my time with myself. A lot of the time when we work 9 to 5 or even more, we really don't enjoy that time, or we do enjoy our time, but we don't think about time for ourselves, making time for ourselves, because all the time is dedicated to work, to the house, to the family, to, I don't know, just other things rather than things for ourselves. So for me, it was making time for myself. That's what I needed, And it took about 8 months to going back into that career thinking and deciding, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I feel doing. And it took about 8 months. And then I started to do it. Within this time, I was traveling and also doing a lot of research, reading a lot. And that research and reading, talking to a lot of people, going to a lot of events, business events, to see if things will kind of like fire things within me, those kind of topics and events still in marketing and branding and business opportunities and business networking would fire things in myself. And it took about 8 months to decide and digest that I wanted to pursue my entrepreneurship adventure in consultancy and training.
So before we go to the new venture, did you learn anything else on your, should we say, your time, your headspace that you got from traveling?
It was a lot of introspective analysis. So I took about it was 10 days in a mountain in the north of Thailand for a silent retreat. Literally, it's a silent retreat. You're not allowed to speak to anybody rather than yourself. And I think I think everybody should do it, honestly. Because
what makes you say that?
Well, because we live in a world that is too busy and too loud, too noisy. And we don't make, as I was saying earlier, we don't make time for ourselves, for our thoughts, for what we want, why we're here. Do you know what I mean? what's our purpose in life. So we work as robots. We live our life as robots, as what society wants us to be. And so it took me 10 days. Those 10 days were really good to understand that my life is not just about working 9 to 5. But if I want to work 9 to 5, then it has to be for something that I really truly believe on. And that's why afterwards, it helped me to understand what I wanted to do, which is why I'm here today.
Great. Silent retreat, eh? And have you considered doing another one since?
Yes, I would love to do another one. So we were in lockdown for like 2 years. And I want to do the next one in Nepal or Tibet. I'm organizing myself to do that.
Great.
Soon.
So 8 months in, you decide, or you, should we say, reflect and decide what you want to do. What happens next?
Oh, it happened that, so I was still in Asia, and I started my business actually there in Singapore. So I started attending a lot of events, business events in customer experience, in stakeholder capitalism as well. So why a company should do good as well as doing, generating profit. So, and I was very fascinated about this aspect of business. And so I started my business there in Singapore. And I started doing consultancy for companies over there. And then I decided that if I wanted to build a business, that would be in Europe, because all my family was in Europe and my friends were in Europe, and I wanted to come back to Europe. So after about a year there, I came back here in Europe, and then all of a sudden everything stopped because of COVID-19. So I carried on working in my business, and it's been great ever since, actually. I think also COVID was a silent retreat.
Yeah, kind of different, but I do know what you mean. So you've
Yes.
you said you traveled for a year, and you're 8 months in. So I'm guessing that's about 4 months of seminars, education on certain
Yes.
topics. When do you get your first client, first paying client?
Oh, it was actually right away, because when I stopped working for my previous employment, then after a bunch of months, I started freelancing and doing a bit of marketing alongside, and doing user experience improvements for websites, and also a bit of customer experience projects. So I started doing freelancing. Obviously, I needed to work. And that was after a few months, but it wasn't full time. So it was one project here, one project there. So I was trying to understand, do I want to still do this freelancing for a long time or not? Then biggest client was 2019. Biggest client was in 2019 for a big multinational. It was a training, a workshop actually, that I did for a big multinational. And then I did for them a longer project, which was involved in optimizing their customer experience, designing their customer experience. So I would say biggest one was about after a year and a half. Yeah.
Okay, so you had a bit of a side hustle going on, and
Yes.
Would you say what happened when you come back to? Is it Italy that you started your business after you got back from Singapore?
Yes, I came back here. Yes.
So would you say it all starts to take off at that point?
Yes, absolutely.
So can you share with us what that looks like?
Yeah, it was really good. So I basically what I do, I do prospecting a lot. So I use LinkedIn quite a lot for looking for new business. But also my existing clients and past clients, they pass the words to other of their acquaintances and people that they know. So I work a lot on referrals. LinkedIn is my main social network, of course, and that brings a lot of business. For example, a lot of speaking opportunities come from there. A lot of workshops come from there. So that's basically where my main business opportunities come from. A lot of them, as I said, come from referrals, so existing clients, or word of mouth.
So in terms of, I have heard LinkedIn be very good for business to business type activities. If it doesn't necessarily need to be in your business, but if any sort of business, B2B business, if they were just starting out, what kind of advice would you give them about what you've learned so far?
I would say create a lot of content. So you need to create your kind of personal brand. Use your personal profile. Don't use your business page, because LinkedIn prefers you to use. So it gives priority to people profiles rather than business profiles. And you need to learn how the algorithms work. You need to learn how to create content. It needs to be authentic and real conversation. It doesn't have to be business conversation too much. So basically, you're showing your real self. You need to show your real self, because LinkedIn is not just a business and professional platform, but is a real social network. So it's a way to show who you are, really, in real terms, and what you do. So connect with people, many different levels. So personally, business-wise, and many different levels, and emotionally as well. There are so many people that share their vulnerabilities, and it works very well because we connect with people that are similar to ourselves, right? We don't connect to businesses. We connect to people. We buy from people. And that's why LinkedIn works very well.
Would you say, I know you mentioned referrals, but would you say you built a business from LinkedIn?
I could say so. Yes, I'd say so. I think my business is actually has grown around LinkedIn. Yes.
So can you share maybe some biggest wins from your business so far?
My book. So in 2021, I wrote Journey to Centricity, which is a book that's it's a customer-centric framework that I propose to my readers to optimize and to put a customer at the center of their business strategy. And I'm very proud of this book because I share all my values. I share the way that I believe businesses should operate these days. And yeah, so my book is my biggest win. And it took me, I don't know, a full year to write it. It was a very, very difficult project for many, many reasons, but it's also the proudest piece of my professional life so far. Not only of this business, but of my professional life.
Congratulations on becoming an author. What made you decide to write a book in the first place?
Well, again, I think when you strongly believe on your values, when you have integrity, and when you want to share your values and the way that you believe businesses should operate, then I think that writing a book was the best way to share my opinion, my views. And because you can write an article, you can write a blog post, you can write a post on LinkedIn, but it doesn't stay there and it doesn't quite share the same message. A book has authority, and it stays for a long time, and it's also it's a tool that you put central to your business, because it helps you build authority, credibility, and it connects you with the reader, and it brings the business opportunities as well.
You got a favorite chapter at all?
My favorite chapter, I'd say, is leadership, which is all the good things start from.
And what would you share from that chapter that would be beneficial for other people to learn?
Well, I think we should, if we as business leaders see the world from a different perspective. So if we, for example, if we have the empathy to see the world from the employees, from the customers, from the communities and the society perspective, I think we have a better way of running our businesses. If we run businesses from the perspective of revenues, balance sheets, and numbers, then it becomes very destructive for customer relationships and for employees' relationships. And of course, we don't earn that trust that we should, that we need in business and societies today.
It's an interesting one because there's a Earl Nightingale example where he says that if you're, for example, a restaurant and you set out to make the best food, then the success comes as a result of that. Whereas if you set out to make the most money, most likely you get a restaurant which is not very good. People don't want to go to it. So illustrates what you're saying there. So thank you for sharing it. What was the writing process like for you?
Okay, so the writing process was very difficult. I interviewed 17 people because I wanted to provide practical examples and case studies of companies that I believe are customer-centric these days. So I needed other people, other leaders, business leaders, to share their knowledge and their experiences. That itself was very difficult because you have to, chase these people all the time. They are basically I'm sharing the journey with them, and that journey took a year to complete. That was a very difficult process. But also the writing process, I don't believe to be a writer. For example, like for me, writing, it becomes difficult. It is difficult. So it's not easy for me to write. So I really needed to set my objectives down every day. For example, write 500 words every day, no matter what. And that was difficult itself. The beginning was interesting, a few months in was nice because it was like a new thing. But then the pressure of getting the book out, because a business book, as you know, it has to be out within a year or even less. The pressure and the emotions as well. So managing those emotions and fears was very difficult. But it was very, very difficult, but it was successful eventually. I think writing a book is difficult itself. You need a lot of mental strength to complete it, to actually launch it and to publish it. A lot of authors write a book and then they get scared or they don't finish it and they never get published. So it's that's why I said to you, I'm very proud of it, not just because of the content, which it's not the work. It's not only me, it doesn't only come from me, but as I said, it comes from all the 17 people, but because I finished it, I completed it, which is really, really difficult. It's a challenge.
Well done again for
Thank you.
all the hard work and actually producing something. Your marketing your marketing experience helped with the promotion of the book, would you say?
Yes, my marketing experience helped, although um, when you work in marketing for companies, it's completely different kind of marketing. Here you have to do a lot of content. You have to work with journalists and editors. So it's not guaranteed that your book gets featured in journals or magazines or publications. So not all the marketing is under your control, if you know what I mean. You need a lot of budget if you want to get the numbers out for like any product, as in any marketing campaign. And so I'm basing my marketing on LinkedIn content and also word of mouth. And it's working really well, although it's been only 4 months in that's been published. So it's really early to say. After a year, I'll be able to assess better whether it's been working or not. But so far, it's been great.
All right. Well, I did say I was going to ask you about this. It can relate to the book, but it doesn't have to. So what does success mean to you?
Success for me is, I wouldn't say happy, but being content with myself, living with my values, living, I don't know if it's correct to say by my values or with my values, but working for something that I truly believe on and getting up in the morning and being excited for what I want to do and be an agent of change. That's what I want it to be. That's why my book came about and being happy with it.
Great. Well, would you share perhaps your best bit of advice on customer experience regarding, I don't know, can be from the book or just regarding your business that you think that businesses should perhaps implement or think about?
Sure. What I'd say is be empathetic in whatever you do. And that means walking in the customer's shoes to understand what are their pain points, what are their needs, what are their expectations. If we don't understand customers on a deeper level, we'll never be able to improve their customer experiences. And that's not referred to only the employees, but especially to the leaders.
All right. Well, if people want to buy the book or perhaps connect with you, excluding LinkedIn, which we've talked about, where do they go?
So the book is available in all major online retailers, including Amazon. It's available in all Amazon marketplaces and also from my website. So it can be available from ileniavidili.com. I'm available on LinkedIn, as I said, and Amazon everywhere.
Well, thank you for all the value today. I enjoyed hearing your story and what you learned. And thank you for being a great guest.